Hey, welcome to Inside Out's tutorial on assembling an X-Stage Lite, made by X-Pole. The stage pole itself is overall 200 pounds with a main frame, 6 plates, and 1 pole. It's about 10 feet tall with 9.5 feet being usable length. Starting with the base, or the main stage frame, you are going to fan out the legs into a star shape. 2 are going to turn counterclockwise, while the other 3 are going to turn clockwise. The next part is fitting in the floor plates. With 2 hands, carefully slide the floor plate underneath the upper center plate. You will then use the spring catches underneath to lock it. Now, because we're human, we're not going to be able to open the legs in a perfectly angled way. So what I like to do to even these out is to kick it with the heel of my foot like so, and you see the difference. Here's a closer look on how you're going to slide the plates underneath the upper center plate. Next is locking the floor plates onto the main frame. The spring catches are found on each plate and used to lock onto each leg on the main frame. I highly suggest that you get used to the mechanism of locking and unlocking the spring catches before putting them onto the legs. Now you see here, before I pushed the plate in, I noticed that the legs were uneven, and once again I used my foot to help even it out so then it can fall into place, which was kind of perfect. Once you have the floor plate sitting properly onto the legs, you will be able to lock and secure them so they will not move. What's nice about the spring catches is they automatically lock. So here you can see me finishing up and doing the other pieces. Before moving on to the next step, I like to check to be sure that the floor plates are secure and locked onto the main frame. Up next is pole assembly. Inside of the carrying case, there are going to be 3 pieces: pole A with the bearing attached, pole B, the upper half, and the X joint, which connects the 2. Now on the bearing is a slot that is supposed to align with the locating pin that's attached to the center plate. When you have these pieces aligned, it falls perfectly into place, like so. Ta-da! Now, using the middle hex key and the screws that they supply, you are going to secure it in. Now that the bearing and A pole is attached, next is adding the X joint. You're going to slide 1/2 of the X joint into the A pole, ensuring that the 2 keyholes are facing the same direction. You're going to slide the B pole onto the X joint and make sure that they are properly joined with no gaps or sliding. Using the hex key, you are going to lock the X joint into place by turning it clockwise so that the X joint can expand and tighten. Before hopping on, always ensure that every piece is in place, not moving or sliding in a way you don't want to. You can then decide if you want the pole on spin and static, and you'll be ready to fly. Those first few times for assembling a stage pole can be really challenging, so give yourself grace, and don't forget to give yourself time to celebrate. For breaking down, you're basically doing the reverse, but as a visual learner, I feel like it was only right to also include this in the video. I like to take all of the bags out in preparation, so then it's less walking around. So going backwards from your assembly, you are going to turn your hex key counterclockwise to loosen the X joint and remove the first pole. You will do the same for pole A, so then you can completely remove the X joint. Then to remove pole A from the main frame, you are going to put your pole onto static and remove the 3 screws that you used to install. To remove the floor plates, you're going to have to use those spring catches to unlock it, and then with both hands lightly lift and pull backwards. You don't want to lift too high because there is a chance that you can pull the metal in an awkward position. Once the floor plates are removed, you will then be able to close the legs, 2 turning clockwise while the others will turn counterclockwise. Make sure that you put everything securely and safely inside of your bag to stop it from rustling and jiggling all over the place. I've had times where I've jammed my fingers because I have not properly velcroed the pieces in. Once you've put everything inside of its bags, you have officially disassembled your X-Stage Lite. I hope you're proud of yourself because I'm proud of you. I know that this equipment can be very heavy, but I also know the reward that comes with it and how much fun that you will have. Be sure to share this video with other people that own an X-Stage or are thinking about it so they can see what all to expect. Thanks for watching.